Hey Hebrew fans, this is Todd. So when it comes to the Wind Raider, when you launch that cool little thing, it only goes out so far. Not very far, and if somebody's waiting to be picked up or rescued like Man-at-Arms down here, it's just not going to work. So today we're going to talk about how to fix your Wind Raider to make a longer string so that you can actually use it to save other people. So first thing we have to do is pull it apart. So to do this, let's first pop the wings off and the back. And then we'll carefully take all the screws out of the bottom. Now there's a lot of screws in here, and you're going to find these screws are stuck. A lot of these are really just cinched in there because they were done in the factory, and it may take multiple screwdrivers to get the right fit to work in there. You need a screwdriver that's going to have a nice deep fit into the Phillips head, and one that fits into the hole both. So some of these may take a lot of effort to get out, a lot of force and a lot of pushing, otherwise you'll end up stripping out the head of the screw. So as you take these out, you're going to want to take and keep them separate. You want to keep all the ones that go on the outside of the Wind Raider in one area, and then as you open it up, you'll find there are other panels we have to take apart, other pieces that you'll want to keep those screws separate as well, so you don't mix them up, because they're different lengths and different styles, so you don't want to mix up those screws. Alright, and again you can see it's quite the task to take out all these screws. There's a lot of them. Now after you get all the screws out, you then have to actually open it up. Now to open it up, depending on how it's done in the factory, you may have to do a little bit of prying to get it open. So I'm going to use this screwdriver over here to get this part that's kind of stuck, because I don't want to snap the plastic. I'm going to be very careful doing this. So this is a flat tip screwdriver, just kind of put it in there and twist it a little bit, and then gently pull it off. Now you can see we have another housing on top. And this is where the spool was housed, and the mechanism for the center part, how it pops in and out in order to engage the turning mechanism. So just take out these two screws. I personally left these screws inside this little piece so I don't mix them up, because again you want to keep them all separate. Okay, now here's the actual spool housing right here, the small little piece. Now right underneath here is a small little spring with a little button that holds it in place, that actually controls that mechanism for popping up and down. If you're not careful, the spring will pop out and you can easily lose it. So be very careful taking this part out so you don't lose that spring. Alright, so there is our spool. You can see our string is in there. Now we have one last screw to take out on the bottom. And once the screw's out, our spool will be free. Now you can see right here, there's a small little knot that holds the string in, and that's where you'll attach your new string, tie it in a knot, and thread it through there, and that will be it. Alright, now that you have your new string on there, let's put it back together again. So here's the steps for putting it back together. First thing is to put the spool back in. Now notice there's a little serrations on here. The serrations go on the inside of the spool. So make sure that lines up. And this little piece goes on here. It's got some flat edges. Make sure you line that up as well. Put that one screw back in. Slide it into the middle of the Wind Raider. Make sure the string is not trapped anywhere as you do this. Now here's that little spring part that I was telling you about. And notice there's a little pin right in there where the spring goes. Now, it took me lots of times to put the spring in. I had to keep reinserting it because it kept popping out. In fact, one time the spring shot across the room and I lost it. I couldn't find it. I had to pull apart 3 different pins to find a spring that matched. So my Wind Raider actually has an old pen spring, my wife's pen spring actually, instead of the official spring it came with. As you can see, that little piece just gives us such problems for that spring. Let me go ahead and try to insert it again. There we go. Hold it in place while you put this piece on top. And then go ahead and insert those screws. Alright, pop the Wind Raider piece back on. Now I was doing a quick test to make sure that that new spring works, and it does work. Checking the length of the string. You want the string to be just the right length so that it fits on the spool all the way, but doesn't cause it to bind up. And so it took me about 4 or 5 different string lengths to get it just right, so that it would be the longest possible, but yet not cause any problems. Okay, put that yellow housing on, put the bottom on, put all the screws back in. Now, when you cinch these down, be careful not to put them in too tight, otherwise you'll crack the plastic on the inside. So be very careful as you do this. You don't want to tighten them up too much, just enough to hold it snug. But do not reef on it, because you will end up ruining the threads on the inside. Pop the wings back on, and let's test this thing out. That works pretty good. Let's pull it all the way out and see how it is, and then let's go ahead and wind it back up. All right, let's see if it works and see if we can save man-at-arms this time. All right, look at that. All the way down the man-at-arms. Let's do a comparison and see the before and the after. We'll just put them side by side so you guys can see what the difference is between the two. I guess I first wind this up. There we go. Let's watch me wind it up. Okay, now let's go ahead and do that comparison shot of the side by side. You can see the difference in the length. Let's go ahead and see it again in slow motion. All right. Well, hey, you guys. Thanks for watching. That's how you change the string out on your Wind Raider to make it more usable. Subscribe, tell your friends, and share this video. All right, you guys. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next video. Take care.